Alright, so for this game, we're going to be creating what is essentially a zombie shooter, except instead of zombies, we're going to be using robots. So to get started, go ahead and open up Unreal, and you definitely won't see all of these. These are just things that I've either been playing with or things that I'm where I've tested stuff. But you'll open up Unreal and go to New Project. Select First Person and name it Zombies. I'm going to name mine Demo BG Zombies. Don't include Demo BG in yours. That's a note for me. And give it a bit to load up. This might take a little bit of time. This might take a few minutes. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to cut out the loading time, and I'm just going to skip straight ahead to when it finishes. Alright, so the first thing we want to do here is we want to go ahead and get our robots set up. So to start that, we need to load in the third person blueprint, or the third person default class, because that's what we're going to be using for our robot. So to do that, click on this green Add New button and click Add Feature or Content Pack. Then click Third Person and click the green Add to Project button. And after, it shouldn't take very long at all, you should see this right here, which at first said first person BP, now says third person BP. What we need to do next is double click on blueprints. These are the default assets that came with the third person template. Click third person game mode and press delete to get rid of it, either by pressing the delete key or just by right clicking on it and going to delete, and press the red delete button because we won't be needing that. Then we'll click on third person character once, wait a couple of seconds, and then click it again so that we can rename this to BP underscore AI. BP is short for blueprint, and AI is what this thing is going to be. It's going to be an AI. So double click it to open the blueprint editor. You should see either something like this or something like this. This is what's known as the viewport, and this is the event graph. To switch between them, you simply click on the separate tabs here. We'll need to be in the event graph, as there's nothing really for us to do in the viewport for this particular object. To zoom out like this, just scroll up and down to zoom in and out. And to move the, I don't even know what to call it, to move the event graph around like this, just hold right click and move your mouse. So the first thing we're going to do is get rid of all of this. Just select it all by holding left click and dragging, and just press delete to get rid of all of it. Then we also, over here, want to get rid of this follow camera and this camera boom. So you just click those and hit delete as well. Then finally, we want to get rid of these two variables, base turn rate and base lookup rate. So let's get this thing started chasing us. Right click, don't drag, just right click, and type out the word tick and select event tick. What this event will do is every time the object ticks, which by default happens once per frame, the tick event will run, and whatever we connect to this tick event is going to happen. Alright, so what should we connect to it? Let's drag off of this white arrow here and type AI move to. Now it'll automatically put you on move to location or actor. Just click AI move to. What this block will do is whatever we give it for the pawn is going to come towards either the object we put here, or if there's nothing here, then it'll come to this spot. So what we're going to do is drag off of this blue here and just type in self. Oops. Just type in self and click get a reference to self. So the object self, the third person character, the AI, is going to move towards this. For this blue down here, what we're going to do is drag off and type get controlled pawn and turn off context sensitive. And select the bottom one here. Then we're going to drag off of this blue, and we can actually turn context sensitive back on. And we will type get player controller. So I should explain what these do. This is a reference to a player controller. That is not the thing that you hold in your hand. The thing you hold in your hand is called a gamepad. A controller is what actually moves your character and has your character do whatever your character needs to do. When you press a button on the gamepad, it sends a message to the controller. The controller then takes control of your character and makes your character jump or fight or run or do whatever your character needs to do. This block gives us a reference to the controller. This block says whatever. This block is basically the object that this controller is controlling. Whatever character this controller is controlling is stored here. And that's what we're having in this blue here. The only thing that's going to be controlled, so the only controller in the game, is going to be the one that we're using to control our character. So what this block is going to do is the AI right here is going to chase us. And we're putting this on tick so that it happens every frame. Every frame, if the AI hasn't caught us, it'll keep trying to chase us. Now, no changes will actually take effect until you hit compile. So I'm going to go ahead and compile now. And I'll also save. When you save things in Unreal, it's always helpful to use Control-Shift-S instead of just Control-S, because Control-Shift-S will save everything. Control-S only saves what you have open right now. So if, for example, I made a change on the map and I made a change in the AI blueprint and I pressed Control-S, it would save the changes I made on the AI blueprint, but it would not save the changes that I made on the map. If I used Control-Shift-S, it would save all the changes I made on both. And if I have anything else that I've made changes on, it'll save those changes as well. So I like to use Control-Shift-S to save in Unreal. So I'll come back to our main scene here, and I will drag in a BP AI. Now when I play this game, you'll notice that the AI just kind of stands there. He's not really doing much of anything. And the reason for that is because even though we've programmed him to chase me, he doesn't actually know where I am, nor does he know where he is. To set up navigation on our enemy so that the enemy knows where I am and how to get to me, we need to bring in a nav mesh component. So come over here to volumes, and then go down to nav mesh bounds volume. If you can't see the full names, you can scroll, or you can resize the windows like this. Just hover right there and the thing will turn into an arrow and you can just resize them. But nav mesh bounds volume is the first volume that starts with the letter N. Alright, so next we're going to make sure that this nav mesh is directly in the center of our scene. So to do that, the easy way, all we do is just click this yellow arrow here. Now, the next change we want to make is we want the nav mesh bounds volume to be bigger than our little arena here, because navigation only happens inside the nav mesh bounds volume. Anything outside of the nav mesh bounds volume still has no navigation. So right now our AI has no navigation on it. It doesn't know where it is, it doesn't know where I am, it can't find me, it can't get to me, nothing like that. It can only do that once it's inside the nav mesh bounds volume. So to change that, we're going to click it in our world outliner here. Click on the nav mesh bounds volume and then press R. And these arrows, when you press R, should turn into boxes. And you've got 4 of them. You've got a blue box, a red box, a green box, and a white box. Grab onto the white box. Each of these other 3 boxes expands it a certain way. The blue box will make it taller but not wider. The green will make it wider this way but not that way. The red will make it wider that way but not this way. The white box, on the other hand, changes all 3 at the same time. So just grab the white box and drag it up, and you can literally just keep going up forever. The Unreal Engine will reset your mouse if you go off screen. Alright, so now you can see that my nav mesh bounds volume is way bigger than my scene, which means that now my bot has navigation. And if I play now, you can see that he's chasing me. And he will continue to chase me even if I keep moving, because this is running on his... or this is restarting every time he ticks. So even when he gets to me, a frame will pass, he'll just tick again, and the chase will continue. Alright, that's all we need to do to get our project set up and to get the robot chasing us. The next video will be about shooting the robot.